welcome to this week's episode of Chasing the Whimsy. I'm your host, Ben, and I'm here with
Liam.
All right, everybody. Today's a big one. If I don't know when this comes out, but if I do this correctly, Monday you would have listened to our 1 year episode, finishing up year one. This one's going to come out on a Wednesday, I believe, because let's get right into year two. When we jump into year two, Liam, Mallrats, a couple of other movies, like your sophomore film doesn't always do so well. So I was worried. Our year two needs to start off with a bang.
Yeah.
You agree?
Yeah.
What better way to start off with a bang than to have a special guest with us? This special guest was with us before episode 0. About just over a year ago. He was there since episode 1, following us. He's hitting the likes on all the socials. Standout episode on episode 37. I think he has the most views of any other video we have on YouTube at like 1.5K. Our guest today, mentor, fellow podcaster, Ming Chen.
What's up, everybody? What's up, my whimsiers, my whimsers? Yes. Huge honor to be back. I love seeing where you guys started. I love seeing where you guys are going. I love seeing where you guys have been, and I love seeing you guys right now. So huge honor to be here. A mere year ago, you guys were just starting out as new podcasters with a passion and an idea, and you've expanded it into an empire. And I could not be happier. I could not be more proud. And you guys are the embodiment of everything I envisioned when I started a Shared Universe podcast studio. So congratulations on 1 year, and here's to many more. And I guess what I love. You guys have taken a page out of the Ming Chen playbook. It's like, well, why stop at one show? Why not start 2, 3, 4, or more? We have the freedom to do that. Since right. You do one show. It's like, hey, I got another idea for another show. It's like, great, start it, do it. So, and you guys pretty much got a whole network taking over the world now. So,
we got the Chasing the Whimsy proper. I do the 2 live streams, and then we're going to introduce the Whimsy with the Z. We're going to hang out with some teenagers. Then I got a family tree project we're going to work on with some family and just start just telling stories and just recording everything. Building a network.
I love that. And then, you record with your kids, so that in and of itself is a living, growing, permanent family tree in an audio format.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. I always thought it'd be cool if I found if I stumble across a box full of old tapes, I found out like my dad had a radio show like in the 60s or something. That didn't happen, but it would have been cool if it did. And I found out he told if I get all these stories of him, which at some point I guess my kids will stumble across my goofy podcasts. Because they've never listened to Tell 'em Steve Dave, but or I Sell Comics for that matter. But one day they might stumble on it, or Puck Nuts, and they're like, "Hey, Dad was pretty funny." It's like, man, they really hammered him though. And I'm like, yeah, they did. They did. Your old man got hammered pretty hard, but he took every lump, man.
All right. My daughter's 4, and there's this idea like 10 years from now when she's just a teenager, hanging out with all of her friends on a sleepover. They could randomly find 10-year-old like year 1 podcasts.
Yeah.
And that it's exciting and scares me.
Yeah.
And should scare her because
yeah, I think scary, yes, because we get into a lot of weird stuff, but kind of cool because when we podcast, we tell real stories about what just happened or what we're feeling at the time. It's a real account of that moment of our life. And whether they like it or not, it's what happened, right? And it's a pretty real account. It's like, I know when I record, like I lay out everything, man. I tell every detail, every thought, for better or for worse. Right. And I think that's what makes it so much fun. But do you want your family, your kids hearing that? I don't know. But hey, it happened. If it happened, it happened, right?
Right. So, over the last year, what are some of the things that you've seen that we're doing that's good? What are we doing good?
First of all, the promotion is top notch. You guys are your own Powerart PR firm, representing CTW. You're your own client, which is pretty cool. This is something I try to encourage everybody to do, but it's tough, man. It's another job. So, but the fact that you have branding in front of you, behind you, all around you is amazing. I got a mysterious package in the mail about a week ago, and inside was the Chase of the Whimsy book and a handwritten note, and it's just great, man. This is pretty great. I guess we have some pretty good influences behind us. Kevin Smith is a very, very good self-promoter, so he's a very good role model. And then, shockingly enough, tell him Steve Dave has been killing it with branding and merchandise.
They've been doing some amazing things the last couple of years.
Listen, I've seen their T-shirts in all over the world, in Alaska, in Hawaii, in Dubai, and it's funny. Even every time I see a shirt in a weird city, I'll take a photo of it and I'll send it back to Walt, because I think even he doesn't believe the reach that they've gotten.
Right.
I think the Dubai one definitely blew him away. But even it's like, wait, they listen in like St. Paul, Minnesota. I was like, oh yeah, they definitely do. So, but with that in mind, I see the same thing with you guys for sure. So. You guys are killing it with the branding and merchandise, but I love that you expanded to live streaming as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people don't take advantage of live streaming their shows, and why not? Like you literally press a button, and you're on live for potentially hundreds, if not thousands, of people to watch. Why not do that? So, I myself, even if I get a cool package in the mail, I'll just unbox it live.
Yeah.
And if you want to watch it, great. If you don't. Or if you catch it later, awesome. But it's a weird thing. People love watching people like open things up, and half of the time I don't even know what it is, so it's a surprise to me as well. So.
I think we got Liam's new live show.
That's what I was literally just about to say, that you should give me like $50 like for a budget.
Yes.
And I'll get you stuff, and you unbox it on the live.
No, you unbox it because you can't show your face, so we just show your hands.
Yeah, and your
voice.
We
just commentate over it.
Yeah, you could wear a mask. You get one of those Jar Jar Binks like rubber masks.
William, what kind of things would you want to unbox? Don't worry about the budget yet. You're just like, I want one of these things.
I don't know, like anything that I can just like I have something to do with it. Like not something that I'm just gonna like store on my shelf for forever.
Does loot box still exist?
I think loot crates are out there. They're not as popular as they were before. And then like all those offshoot boxes kind of came and went. Yeah. So they're still out there. But even if I buy like a pair of Jordans or something, I'll unbox those. Or my latest thing was I bought a pair of shoes by a guy named Bull Ayers. He's a custom shoe designer, and he came out with the Moobies shoes. And they weren't cheap, but I saw them go on sale, and I guess there are only like 50 pairs available.
They sold out quick.
Yeah, and I was like, do I get these? Like, do I drop? Like, that's a lot of money for shoes that I may or may not wear. And I basically justified it like this. I was like, all right, listen, if I ever need to sell them, I'll just have everybody sign them first, and I'll just sell them that way. And even if I don't sell them, I'm going to display them somewhere. So I was like, okay, I'll get them. So I ended up getting a pair, and they're really cool.
Yeah.
And
they were cool.
My inspiration was Kevin Eastman. So Bull Ayers put out a couple pairs of Turtles shoes, and so Kevin Eastman's got a couple bucks, so he wears his. And I was like, dude, you gotta pull a pair of Bull Ayers. Like, those look awesome. I was like, I'd love to own a pair one day, and so now I do. But I'm sure he's got a couple pair. He's probably got a pair that he wears all the time.
All right.
Yeah.
Liam's big into shoes, but I couldn't see.
No, it's dude, $400 is a lot of money.
It was. Well, and what was fun, what sucks is I was thinking about it. I'm like, maybe I could just do it for Christmas.
Yeah.
And then they sold out. So I was like, oh, never mind. Made that decision easy.
Yeah, I kind of chalked that out like that. If that happens, just fate, right? It's fate. You know, it wasn't meant to be. I'm sure, because I think I saw he was working on Bloodman Chronic ones. Like this won't be the first Kevin Smith collaboration. I'm sure there's gonna be like a Quick Stop pair. There's gonna be, man, if he puts out like Dogma ones, that would be awesome. There'll be a Jay and Silent Bob pair, I'm sure. But I thought I saw rumors that he was working on Bloodman and Chronic next. So, yeah, save your pennies, everybody, because he's not done. I think there'll be a lot more. And since they sold out so fast, I have no doubt there will be more collaborations.
All right.
Yeah, I also know that Kevin loves shoes as well. So.
Right. When is ChronicCon? That's in Chicago, right?
ChronicCon's in Chicago, Illinois. It'll be October 11th to the 13th. And
Liam, you want to go ChronicCon?
I already said I wanted to.
And
Chicago.
I think she would like his.
Yeah, if you guys make it, we're definitely podcasting. Yeah, I don't know if you saw, about 4 weeks ago I was announced as an official guest. So yeah.
Oh shoot.
Yeah.
Oh well.
There you go.
All right, October.
Yeah. So far it's Kevin Smith, Jason Mewes, Genesis Rodriguez, Mark Bernardin, Brian O'Halloran for sure, and me. But my feeling is because it's July now, so there are another 3 months for Kevin to sign and announce guests. Yeah, my feeling he's gonna try to get everybody, especially for this first one. And just,
for sure.
And just stack it. And my hope is if this one works out, that there will be ChronicCons everywhere. But
yeah, because he mentioned he wanted to try and do multiple locations, but just in case, we're gonna try and head out to Chicago.
Yeah,
that'd be amazing.
Yeah, because I see.
Tell Steve Dave to go as guest.
I'm trying to make this happen. I have my work cut out for me. I would love to have all four comic book men there as well. That could be a feat. Although famously, Walt Flanagan does not fly, but Chicago is very drivable. He could be there, conservatively in maybe 15 hours. We've done way more than that. We drove down to New Orleans for Jay and Silent Bob reboot. 15 hours is nothing. There are also trains that go there, so he could take a train potentially. I would love it to. This could be like a broadside attraction road trip, though.
Right.
Yeah. So they could shoot content for the Patreon as they go to ChronicCon. This is something I would love to see happen. I'm saying it out loud, so we manifest it and put it out in the air and put it out in the world. And I think this could be a thing.
It would be cool to see all you guys, all the comic book men together.
Yeah,
again.
Very rare, like all four of us appearance, oddly enough. But since one doesn't fly and everyone's busy, it's tough. And a couple of them don't even really like doing conventions. But this is different, man. This is a family.
Oh, no, for sure.
It's not like a family reunion, is what it is.
Oh, that's gonna be so cool.
Yeah. So if you guys are able to come, I think it's gonna be a great time.
I think there's a more than serious chance that we will definitely look into it. We just gotta look at flights and where to stay. So.
Yeah, they're out there. They're out there. Yeah, I would love to see you guys there.
Oh, that'd be so fun. Also, year one, I sent you a copy of a book that we're working on.
Yes.
What are you thinking? We like, we don't like?
No, I love it. I wish I had enough foresight to put kind of my thoughts and just artifacts from my first year of any of the podcasts I've done into a book. And and I mean, I guess I could. All that stuff is kind of scattered around, but it would have meant more had I done it after the first year, though.
Right. So
yeah, you guys are way more driven than I am. Because I'll be like, oh, it'd be a great idea, and I never do it. But you guys are more like Kevin. We're like, oh, it'd be a great idea, and he actually does it.
Right. Well, what's funny is it's not so much driven as much as it's telling Steve Dave and hear some of these other podcasts, thinking about the what ifs they would have done something 5-6 years ago.
Right.
So I'm like, let's just do it all now, because I have the dumbest thing in the world when I do the live streams. I put up a camera right here where nobody can see it on the live stream.
Right.
And I record a kitchen cam of me for no good. It doesn't sound good. It doesn't look good.
Hey, why not though?
But,
Something might happen.
right? So I'm like, maybe. So like I have like 40 of them. So I was like, maybe I'll just keep them because you never know if I have a random project.
Yeah, UFO might crash through your kitchen. You never know.
Right? Oh, that's so funny.
I love it. But yeah, I think I think here's the thing: we live in a world where nothing's really tangible anymore, right? You know, we take photos on our phones, but they're just digital. You know, you can't pin those up on a wall. You can't, mail a physical copy. Like a physical copy, no one, millions of years from now, when they're digging through and looking for artifacts, I'm pretty sure our iPhones aren't going to work then, right? So, but if we had like a printed photo, like like Terminator, like we printed like a photo of Sarah Connor, that would never exist now. So in a world where nothing tangible really exists anymore, I think a printed book is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's so much easy. It's a little bit of work, but it's just fun, just creating. And that's kind of what you've been doing since you started podcasting. Was just create and just see what happens, and then
Yeah. Still, I mean, I think rarely do anyone get that thrill anymore of opening up a box and like pulling out like a physical copy of something.
Right.
Yeah.
Like this stupid Tell Steve Dave book I keep trying to chase down.
I know the Tell Steve Dave, the transcript book. I think it's literally called Making Hay is chronicled in there.
Yep, yeah. It's all of the 2 episodes of Making Hay.
Yeah, it's a thick book too. I forgot both those episodes were like 3 hours each. And yeah, they came out. I remember they came out. Geez, like maybe like 20 years ago, maybe around that area. And I remember they came in. We only had them at the store. We sold some online, and they sold, but they weren't flying off the shelves. But now I think people would kill for a copy.
Right.
I don't even know if I kept one for myself. Is the sad part.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's like also it's like I make extra copies of everything just because Lamb wants one for sure. He's like, make sure you save me 2 copies of everything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're kind of in there, so yes. Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. So I think it's a great idea. I think right now in 2024, anything you get a physical anything is awesome.
Because like physical media is even on its way out. Like DVDs aren't being sold much anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's conveniently, it's nice to have the digital copies of everything, but there is definitely something special that you can hang up on a wall or on a shelf.
Yeah,
hold.
Actually look at it, touch it, smell it if you wanted to. You could smell it.
I'm gonna start scenting. We need a Chasing the Whimsy scent.
Yes, the cologne.
What does that smell like, man?
Grass.
Like grass.
Yeah, it sounds funny, but I remember for a couple of years that Stan Lee had his own cologne. There was Stan Lee cologne. There might be some bottles out there if you look. There's probably some on eBay. I wish I would have kept one. I don't even know what I did with mine. They gave me a bottle of it. It smelled good.
Yeah?
Yeah, there was like Stan Lee, like the Excelsior edition. It was pretty cool. So not out of the realm of not out of the realm of possibility, my friends. The CTW Chasing the Whimsy scent.
Fragrance.
Yes.
And then we can make one of those cool videos where like Lamb's holding the cologne and he just looks and just stares at you and he's like, Whimsy.
Yeah, you just drop like a Chasing the Whimsy snow globe and it shatters, and then the words Whimsy just appear, just fade in.
Snow globes.
You want to do snow globes?
That sounds sick.
What kind of merch should we look into for year 2? What kind of
snow globes are good. Have you guys done apparel? You guys got shirts yet?
Oh yeah.
We have shirts, but we haven't made any extras for like. I did a test run.
Okay.
But yes.
Yeah, I put all mine on print on demand. I use a TeePublic where you just upload the image, and then people can choose what shirts they want. Like a week later, you get a shirt.
Okay. So T-shirts.
Yeah, T-shirts and hats, man. Hats are always apparel. Apparel is like the one thing I really love.
All right. You can handle. Will you wear, if not the driver hat, because I know you hate the driver hat, but if I wore If we made some Whimsy baseball caps.
Yeah, like that one,
wear
like a trucker hat. You could do a trucker hat. Okay, that's a maybe. It's better than a no.
When you wear the shirt, a little pin.
You should put a pocket right here.
Oh, nice little pocket. Well, because what I was thinking, right, is you get the pocket and then you print the gnome like on the inside of the pocket, popping into the pocket.
Yeah, exactly. I think that'd be great. The pins have been great, man. I love pins. I love pins. So.
We do the wooden token, so now we just have to just attach fucking pins to them, and I think we're gonna be good.
Yeah, it's great.
We also looked into patches.
Yeah, patches are good. I use a website called The Studio. They make good patches.
The Studio.
Yep,
okay.
The Studio. The Studio actually makes a lot of cool stuff. So yeah, you might depending on what you want to spend, they have stuff for all budgets.
All right.
So besides like the apparel, like what about the miscellaneous stuff? Like, what do you think we should make with miscellaneous? Because I just talked about making like snow globes for like say Christmas.
Yeah. Well, I saw you with a beverage. Imagine that beverage in either like a cup, like a mug, or like a stainless steel branded like vessel. That might be those always work. Those work out really well as well too.
And that's nice because you get those nice sturdy ones.
Yeah.
Like you take it everywhere you go. So now I'm branding all over the place.
Yep, yeah, exactly. Just don't forget it. That's the one thing people always forget them. We have like a ton of them in the studio. Like I don't want these. People drink out of these, and no one ever comes to claim them. But if you have your logo on them, people would know whose they were. So unless everybody had one, then you gotta go find their owners.
Right.
Yeah, those are cool. I see at a lot of Comic Cons, people are handing out challenge coins now. I guess the challenge coins are a big thing.
Nice challenge coin?
Yeah.
What are challenge coins?
I don't know, but that's cool.
Well, so they're metal coin with the logo on them. So traditionally they were used by the military, and they would hand them out to the unit. And then the thing was, at random times, like, hey, you're supposed to carry them with you at all times. So every so often, like, hey, you got your coin. Everyone would pull them out, and the guy who didn't have his on him had to buy beers for everybody. That was the original idea.
Way off topic and like completely random.
Okay.
Do you know what was the equivalent of that on the Clerks 2 set?
Oh, was there a coin? Clerks 2, like the snowball effect DVD set, the big one, the 10th anniversary. No, that's Clerks X. I'm thinking of. Oh man, was there a Clerks 2 like challenge coin? I don't know if did they give away like Fun Employee name tags with that, or are you talking about the movie meal that came out?
I think they did like on the production, like all the.
It was yes, I do. Oh, it was a marble.
Yes, it was.
It was a marble. They gave a marble there. I think they ended up they gave me one. It was nearer to the end, though. They just handed me a marble. I was like, what's this for? It's like, oh, we have a marble game going on. I'm like,
it was fascinating. I fell down a rabbit hole.
Shoot, I think I know where my marble is, actually. It's at my bedside table. It's in a box.
Next time you see Rosario or Kevin,
ask if they have their marble.
You should be like, I got my marble. Where's yours?
Yeah.
And then they have to give you $1 or something.
Yeah, that was it. I think they took up a collection, and Horde didn't have a marble. They owed $1 to everybody.
What about some custom playing cards?
Those are good. I haven't used cards in a while though. The last set of custom cards I used was we made a Chasing Amy set.
Yeah.
That we sold called the Hold'em McNeil playing card set.
Hold'em
McNeil. They're out there somewhere. Those were cool. Yeah, I don't know if they're expensive or not. Yeah, you got to look at cost of production too as a problem.
We have the web comic. We have 20 individual comics. Is there like? So we're going to try to start back up again and start printing off another run of some comics.
Yeah.
Do we bind those and like? Do we try to get them into like a comic book?
That would be cool. And if you want to publish a comic book, There's a place called Kablam that I use. That you just upload.
You publish it?
Oh yeah, so what I did was I found they're not my comic books, but I found files for a comic book by press kit that they did in the form of a comic book. I more or less just reverse engineered it, and that's what I sell. I sell my cons now.
Oh, okay.
I kind of reprinted that book, and then I have another comic. I found a PDF full of Comic Man artwork. It was based on the animated intro, and I printed that out as a comic as well. So yeah, those have been doing pretty well.
And that was Kablam?
Kablam, yep, Kablam Printing. They're really good.
You good? So, you on Tell 'em Steve Dave, they just did episode 600.
I know, can you believe it?
You've been
600.
I know.
It's insane.
It's, what, 15 years?
Started in 2009, yeah. 2009 was the first episode recording in November. October or November. I think November was the official date. So, yeah, it's 2020. Yeah, 15 years. Crazy.
So we're doing 60 episodes a year. We're going to do it in 10.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You come on our 600?
Oh, absolutely. I may be a little older and I might not think as quick, but yes, I will be there.
But a staple of a high-profile episode 600 for Tell 'em Steve Dave is they like to play games.
Okay.
So they're always playing like a 1, 2, 3 or
yeah.
Some variation of some games.
Yeah.
What's funny is most of the games are all some variation of 1, 2, 3.
Right, or some or of an existing 70s game show they just twisted to their own purposes. Yes, but since their audience is a little younger, they don't know. They're like, oh, they made it up. I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever.
So with our, this is a big episode for us. This is
it's huge.
We're starting year 2. We're gonna start off with a bang. We play some games every once in a while, but nothing like super official.
Yeah.
So I got two bits. I'd like you to what is that called? To be the first person to do them.
Okay.
The first one, maybe not so much a game, but it's going to be a Whimsy story time capsule.
Okay.
So I guested on suggested articles with Jay Sarge, who does our theme music.
The great Jay Sarge.
He made a comment where he wanted to interview just strangers and ask them to record just one random story or joke or something.
Okay.
So that way, if something happened to him, it would be saved. I'm collecting random ideas and stories and jokes.
Okay.
Do you have one that you would like to submit to our time capsule?
Oh, man.
The first one that's never been recorded.
My dad jokes are terrible, which I guess is kind of the point, right? But
yeah.
Man, I was trying to look up a good one. Like, I need one in my arsenal that I just pull out, which is...
You got a fun story from when you were a kid that you've never told? It doesn't have to be... And the beauty of it is it doesn't have to be groundbreaking. It can just be a favorite random memory from when you were 7.
I think... I can't remember if I told this one on Tell 'em Steve Dave. I wasn't even 7, I was 6. And I remember my parents would keep... not just a book of matches, but a whole case of matches above the refrigerator, where they didn't think I could reach it, and I don't know why, but I was on the playground, and I was hanging out in one of those tunnels that they used to put on playgrounds, hanging out with my friends, and we started out talking about lighting stuff on fire. We were fascinated with fire for whatever reason, and I was trying to impress my friends, and I'm 6 years old. And I'm like, you guys like fire? It was like, well, I know how to make fire. My parents keep a bunch of matches above the refrigerator. I'll bring the matches to school tomorrow. We'll start a fire. And they're like, okay. And so they were high enough, but I figured out, I think probably from watching a Tom and Jerry cartoon, that if you pulled the drawers out, they would kind of make a step stool.
Oh yeah.
So I used that to get up on the counter. And I reached the cupboards above the refrigerator, and I pulled out, I don't know, 5 books of matches, and I brought them to school the next day. We found some dry brush, and we started a fire inside one of those tunnels. Not a big one. I mean, I guess potentially we could have burned the school down, but they're concrete tubes, so it wasn't that bad. So, and no one caught us until the bratty girl, like the Nellie Olson of our school, peeked her head in. She's like, "Hey, what's going on in here?" It's like, "Oh, nothing. We're just starting a fire," and she went and told on us. And I remember I guess whatever the woman they assigned to make sure no one hurt themselves on the playground, I guess whoever, she was pissed. She started chasing me around, trying to catch me. I was running around like Tanner Boyle in Bad News Bears 2, where they're trying to catch him. I evaded them for a while, but eventually they caught up to me. And I guess I called my parents because I was in pretty big trouble then. I didn't see what the big deal was though. We didn't set anything on fire. We didn't burn the school down. We just, we set a harmless fire inside the tube. But I guess
it was all contained. It wasn't in the classroom.
No one got hurt. No one got burned. It was. We were just, you're run-of-the-mill pyromaniacs just watching the world burn for like 30 seconds. Yeah. But I guess after that, I kind of got branded a pyromaniac for the rest of my school year that year. And
what was that? You said 6?
I was 6, yeah. So I was not quite Drew Barrymore and Firestarter, but I guess I was close. I get, now in hindsight, like if you pulled that now, like they would put you, they would have expelled you probably and put you on your psychological evaluation. It would have been bad, I guess. But back then, they let things slide a lot easier. I did get in a lot of trouble, but it's not like I couldn't go to school the next day. I didn't even get suspended. I was like, they were just like, don't bring matches to school anymore. I'm like, oh, I didn't know this was going to be such a big deal. I honestly didn't. And yeah, that was 6. So that was easily 40. That was 43 years ago. My mom still brings it up though, and she laughs at me now. It's like, hey, remember when you burned the school down? I'm like, I didn't burn the school down. For one, I brought matches to school. We lit like a little 30-second fire inside the concrete tunnel. Yeah, I still don't see what the big deal was. So overreaction. And had that girl not peeked her head in, we would have gotten away with it.
Right?
Although we probably would have tried to light more stuff on fire later on, and then we probably would have.
So it was probably good.
I guess. I don't know, man. I don't know. And it's not like I have a unnatural fascination with fire now. So I was perfectly normal, I thought.
You're 6 years old. I think you get curious at 6.
Yeah, but
Liam, did you do anything funny or weird when you were 6?
Yeah, or public destruction of property.
Huh?
Or did you engage in public destruction of property like I did?
Oh.
Ooh, he did do. What were some of those things he got in trouble for when you were little?
Cussing in the back tree.
He was cussing a lot.
It's like big deal, right?
Yeah. He. Oh, what did you do in the bathroom with that one kid? Because
that sounds ominous.
I think they were just like hanging out, climbing up and under, like everything.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not like you threw a firework in the toilet and it blew up. That's something kids used to do back in our day. They used to take cherry bombs and flush them.
Yeah.
And then the toilet would explode.
Right.
Yeah, that was a big thing in our day. Although I never knew anyone in my school did it. But
I don't think it might be one of those things where you saw it on TV and it's like an urban legend.
Yeah, I think urban legend. We have to see if this is actually documented.
Right?
Yeah, because I do know that like M80s float, so it's not impossible. But I was like, wouldn't the water like put it out? I don't know. Yeah.
Well, I thank you for your.
I got in trouble for being too physical when playing football, friends.
Yeah, it was football.
Like 6'7" still.
Like when you're on the playground playing football, it's real life.
Yeah.
You got to get physical.
Right. Oh yeah, we used to play tackle football all the time. We didn't play touch. Touch was for wusses, man.
Right?
Yeah, we played football like they do on the gridiron, man, like in the NFL. Yeah, I guess it's funny though, is we never used a real football though. We always used a Nerf football, like the one that wasn't supposed to hurt you. So
because when you're that little, you can't throw, and then you can't catch with a regular football, like a leather football. Yeah, it hurts your hand.
Yeah, it hurts your hand. So we use a Nerf foot, a sponge foot, a football made out of sponges.
But yet we'll still tackle each other. like crazy.
Yeah, to be honest, I do not remember one of my friends getting seriously injured. You know, maybe a sprained ankle here and there, and you know, one of my friends hit his head on the ground real hard. But it's called toughness, and nobody has it
Right?
anymore. Yeah, it's sad.
All right. So, well, I thank you for your Whimsy story capsule.
Yes, for sure.
I'm going to go ahead and throw one in. This is the one I've been holding on to for a couple of years. I was hoping I was going to get on to Tell 'em Steve Dave.
Right.
Because this was going to be my big win 'em over story.
Okay.
I think they would have appreciated it.
Okay.
It was maybe four or 5 years ago. Got the new car, pick up Lamb for the weekend, and I'm like, we got the new car. Let's go on a very small trip. Let's stay local. So I'm like, let's go north a little bit. So we're driving up north, and then like I don't know, it's like half hour away. There's like a little rest stop, Cordish Junction. So I'm like, I've been there a couple of times. I'm like, we could just drive up there. So we get in the car. It was a little bit late, 6, 7 in the evening. I'm like, we'll just go up there and just come back, and then we'll go to bed and do whatever. So we get in, we're driving, we're having a good time. He's touching all the buttons. He's like playing with the radio, and I'm like, all right, this is what he does. As we get to Cordish Junction, 15 miles, 10 miles, 5 miles till, and then right after the 5 mile marker, we see some random guy. He's carrying this really large bag, one of those like army surplus bags.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. It looked full. It looked like he was struggling a little bit, and Liam looks at me. He's like, "We should pick him up." I'm like, "We don't pick up hitchhikers." He's like, and then he's egging me on. He's like, come on, wuss. And I'm like, all right, Cordish Junction's only 4 miles away. I'm like, let's be a good Samaritan. It's a little warm outside. So we pull over, we let the guy, walk up to the car. I roll down the window and I pop the trunk, and he takes this bag and he puts it in the trunk, right? With some, I don't even know if he did it with force, but he throws his bag into the trunk, and the whole car fucking moves. There's like a bang, and it moves. And Liam looks at me, and I look at him. I'm like, what was in that bag? So the guy comes up to get into the back seat, and I roll down the window, and I'm like, hey guy, before we take you to Cordish Junction, what was in the bag? And the guy looks at us, and he's like, none of your fucking business.
Oh.
So we freak out, and we drove off.
Yes.
We left in there.
Yes.
We get to Cordish Junction, turn around, and we just drive home. And we would have passed him. We didn't see him again.
Yeah.
We didn't see him as we came back, but we went, turned around, and went straight home. He's freaking out. I'm freaking out because he's like, oh, it was just supposed to be a fun, he never expected it to be some guy to be like, none of your fucking business.
Yeah.
So we got home, we locked the doors, and we just sat and we watched the movie the rest of the night. It was bonkers. It was crazy.
So wait, was the bag in the trunk?
Yeah, because we just drove off.
Right. So what's in the bag?
None of your fucking business.
Oh, got me. Got him. Walked right into it.
Oh,
Walk right in. It's a good story.
Tell him Steve Dave would have appreciated that.
I think so, yes. All right, I'm stealing that. I'm stealing that one, by the way.
Oh, I was gonna tweak it.
That was a good setup. It's a good setup.
Oh, I love.
You're just waiting for me to.
Funny.
You baited the trap. You're waiting for me to walk right into it.
It's my favorite. My favorite joke.
I really want to know what was in that bag, though.
Oh, it's so funny. I remember the first time I told my mom that, and she looked at me. She's like, "Oh, you son of a bitch."
Yeah, totally. Not cool. Cool, but all right. You got me. That was good.
I was gonna tweak it for when they did the the Christmas special when they made up Father Blood and the Dripping Saint.
Yeah.
And I wanted to submit that, and it was Santa Claus hitchhiking, and it was Santa Claus Bag.
Yeah.
But they never got a call back. So, Ming Chen, you can take it. You can tweak it.
I'm stealing that, and you triggered a memory. I was walking to a restaurant in Birmingham, Alabama. I'd stopped somewhere, and I was going to a restaurant next, and rather than take an Uber, I mapped it. I was like, oh, it's only a mile. I just walked there. But as I started walking there, the sidewalk disappeared, the weeds started getting higher, and then the lights were not as plentiful, and then it started raining. I kept going, but this car pulled up beside me. The window rolled down. There's an old lady in there. She's like, "Hey, it's raining. Do you want to ride? Where are you going?" I was like, and your first instinct, if anyone asks you to ride, you just say no, right? Like, no, I'm good. I'm good. It's just up here. She's like, "Are you sure it's raining? I'll give you a ride to wherever you're going." And I refused again. She's like, "All right." And she drove off. And right as she drove, I was like, "Man, I should have taken the ride. I should have hopped in, just for the story. Like, what's the worst that could have happened?"
Well, that's the problem. Is what could.
I'll never know.
Right?
I'll never know. I should have taken the ride.
Right. Brian Quinn did one when he was in Hawaii.
Yeah.
It's just because there's two frames of mind, right? Like if you're the one picking somebody up,
Yeah.
it's like you would wish that somebody would pick you up if you were in the same situation, and you want to be a good person. But then the opposite side of it is like, I have no idea who Ming Chen is. He could just be out here just stabbing people in the face.
Right. Yeah. No one's trusting anymore. What happened to that world?
Which is weird because, like, statistically, we're the best time in history to have lived.
Right.
Like, we're in the best time. We're in the safest time. It doesn't seem like it because we have the 24-hour news cycle.
Yeah.
But I like to think that there's still good people out there. I think Grandma, who tried to pick you up, was
yeah, I think she probably had the best of intentions. And I would have bought her dinner at the place I was going to, too. And I was like, dang, I should have taken the ride. It's just that
it would have been a fun story.
It's just, we're supposed to fear all this stuff now, right? And, yeah.
I think hitchhiking is a hard no, but I would interact.
Especially with your kid.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. But I would... Like if I saw you walking like towards the restaurant, I'd be like, "Hey man, come on." I had no problem striking up a conversation, but don't get in my car.
Yeah. I felt the same way, but now if it ever happens again, who knows? I also with the just all the tracking technology and cameras everywhere, I feel like maybe it might be safer to hitchhike now. You share your location with people and. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. What's the worst that could happen?
What do girls do? They take a picture of your ID and send it to all their friends, so that way if she goes missing, 11 people have your ID.
Right. Yeah.
You'd be like, "Grandma, I need 2 references and a copy of your ID."
Yeah, exactly. And your credit card score and a blood test.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, my idea, like, if I really wanted to be safe, I would have just live streamed my whole ride. Right.
Oh, that would have been cool too.
Yeah, that way, sometimes having a cell phone camera, it's good for 2 things: making sure you don't get kidnapped, and making sure that they don't skimp on your bowl at Chipotle.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, you're one of those guys.
Yeah, you're damn right I am, because I want to make sure I get my money's worth, man. I want my bowl full.
Right?
Yeah. Anyways.
All right. For our second game, this one's going to be a little bit more game-ish.
Okay.
It's the Whimsy Gauntlet. We have 7 questions for you.
Okay.
Start at very small, easy, and then progressively get higher.
Okay, let's go.
Technically, you can bail out if you want, Ming Chen.
Okay. I'll try not to
if
bail.
You're like, Ben, Liam, Whimsy, this is too hard of a question. I refuse to answer. You're welcome to bail out.
Okay. Now I'm curious.
But you're also going to be the guy who bailed out of the Whimsy Gauntlet.
Yeah.
So, we'll go ahead and start with the first question.
Who's been your favorite celebrity you've met outside of the View Askew universe?
Oh, that's a great question. So, I mean, the automatic answer to this, but he's in the View Askew universe, is Stan Lee. That's hard to top. But outside is, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. So I recently met Priscilla Presley, famously the wife of Elvis Presley. I'm a pretty big Elvis fan, so that was cool because she was really nice. And, we didn't talk about Elvis. We didn't talk about Graceland. We talked about one of my favorite movies, The Naked Gun. And she was very, very open about it. And so in recent memory, I think she was one of the celebrities that I recently met that has been amazing. But, man, of all time is pretty tough. I love Star Wars. So meeting Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher were way up there.
Oh, very nice.
Those were huge. And, Carrie Fisher's no longer with us, so that's even huger now. And, Mark Hamill's Luke Skywalker, so that one was pretty cool. And Billy D. Williams was cool, too. But now that he's been on Comic Book Men, he's kind of in the universe. Mark Hamill's in the universe because he plays Cockknocker and Jay and Bob Strike Back. And Carrie Fisher's the nun, so they're also in the universe. See, this is a tough question because now everyone's been in the universe. It's not.
Well, and what's interesting is he just keeps adding more. Like, you couldn't even do Chris Hemsworth now.
Yep, because he's in reboot. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He just keeps adding more and more people to his universe, and it's fantastic that he does it.
Yeah, it's not even 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon anymore. It's 6 Degrees of Kevin Smith universe.
Right.
Now. I think the other two that I really like that aren't really in the universe. One was Jeffrey Dean Morgan from Walking Dead or Supernatural. He was cool because I thought he was. I went up to meet him one day after he blew up on Walking Dead, and I was real nervous. He was outside smoking a cigarette, so I had this whole spiel about how our show was after his and how I loved him, and he looked over at me. He was like, "Ming, I know who you are. Like, I watch Comic Book Men." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah. I've loved all the episodes I've seen," and he starts quoting like specific topics. I was like, "Holy crap, this guy really watches." So, yeah, that was definitely really cool. The other one was Ralph Macchio, who was on Comic Book Men. But as a huge Karate Kid fan, like that was pretty mind blowing. Him like actually teaching me how to wax off properly. That was pretty cool because I was at the theater in 1984 when Karate Kid came out. Mm-hmm. My dad took me and my brothers, so like 25 years later, like he's standing in front of me. That was pretty cool. That was pretty mind blowing.
Did you watch the Netflix show Cobra Kai?
Oh yeah, I love Cobra Kai. And so actually, when he came in to shoot, I was like, "Hey man, what are you working on now?" I was like, "Oh, we're doing this thing. We're kind of trying to relaunch Karate Kid. We don't know if it's gonna work or not." I'm like, "Well, where's it gonna be showing?" He's like, "Oh, something called YouTube Red." Like before Netflix, it was on YouTube Red. It was a paid streaming service that YouTube was trying to launch that doesn't really exist anymore. And
for a hot minute, it was on YouTube, and it quickly jumped.
Yeah, when it blew up, Netflix like, "We'll buy it."
Right.
Yeah, and which was funny because Netflix.
How do you feel that the Karate Kid and the Jackie Chan Karate Kid are now?
I think it's gonna be awesome. I can't wait.
Yeah?
I can't wait to see Jackie Chan and Daniel San on screen together. As long as they keep Jaden Smith out of it, we're good.
You're right.
We don't need Jaden Smith. But I think they're going to bring in all the kids from the Cobra Kai universe. Johnny, I think it's going to be pretty cool.
Oh, that's exciting. Liam, do you have a celebrity that you've met?
No, not really, actually.
Robert Kurtzman?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Kurtzman.
No baseball celebrities or sports?
I'm trying to remember his name. He was a quarterback, like a really good one too. He was just on a plane, and my dad said hi's, and he was just saying stuff, and I haven't really met anybody famous.
Well, we will when we go to fucking
Chronicon. Yeah, it's about to change, Liam. It's about to change.
Oh, we like it.
Okay, your next gauntlet question.
Okay.
What is your favorite View Askew movie?
It's a great question.
Not necessarily that you've been on and the memories you have from it, but the one you watch and you're like, this is my favorite.
This is also a tough question. There's many great Kevin Smith movies. I'm going to name two that are somewhat of a tie. So Clerks will always be one of my very favorite Kevin Smith movies. It's the first one I saw. It's the first one I fell madly in love with. And it's the movie that, had it not existed, it literally changed my life. The trajectory of my life changed the moment I watched the movie Clerks, which is pretty cool. There's a lot of people like, "Oh, I love that movie," but this movie actually, literally, launched me in a different journey and got me on TV and podcasting and Comic Cons and all this stuff. And working with Kevin Smith, that one changed my life. But I think but the movie Dogma, subject matter wise and plot line wise, is probably better than Clerks. But and I'm in it. I know you said it didn't have any necessarily one I was in, but as one of my favorite roles ever, where I got to sit in a strip club and watch Salma Hayek come out with Chris Rock. That's hard to top as well. So I gotta say, depending on the day it is, it's a very close tie between Clerks and Dogma, for sure, as my favorite Kevin Smith movies.
What about you, Liam?
We're both kind of big in Chasing Amy, but for me, it's Clerks 2.
It's a good one. Yeah, with Rosario Dawson, pretty awesome.
Yes. All right.
And my last question I'm going to be asking you is, we've been talking a lot about what's shaped us with movies, video games, like all that, etc. I know you're big into comic books. What comic book helped shape you today?
Oh, man, that's a great one. Dark Knight Returns is definitely one of them. Oddly enough, any number of Archie comic books, and not even the full-size one, the little digests, I used to read those a ton. So my friend just had them laying around. He had them in like his parents' car in his bedroom. But I think, I remember Dark Knight Returns being in his bedroom. So I was like, what is this? Like, well, this is what Batman is now. I'm like, it's not like the Adam West TV show. It's like, oh no, you got to read this. And that one definitely changed me. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was huge. That one even more than Batman. I remember going to they had just opened up a comic book shop in our hometown, and we went down there, and I was like, what's this? In the comic store, the clerk was like, oh, this is about turtles who mutate into ninjas. I was like, no way. And this was the turtles before they all had different colored masks. Before they were even colors, it used to be in black and white, and it was a lot more violent too. And I remember picking up like a 5th printing of the first issue and then going from there. And I think the Turtles, probably even more than Batman at the time, was a huge influence on me reading comics for sure. And then later on, many years later, when I was in college, I hadn't read comics in a while, and then I walked into a new comic book shop that just opened, and I was like, hey, what do you got in here? Because I noticed they didn't have any DC or Marvel. They had like Image, they had a lot of indie books, and they handed me a copy of Preacher, and like, oh, this is what comics are. You'll love this. And that one for Preacher definitely changed my view into modern comics for sure. And it didn't hurt that the first trade paperback of Preacher, on the top of it is a quote, and it said, reading Preacher is more fun than going to the movies, Kevin Smith. And
nice.
So I was kind of like, man, if this is cool enough for Kevin, it's cool enough for me. So that one famously was a big one as well. So those are 3 that really changed my life, I think.
You got one, Liam?
I didn't really read comic books.
Mine would be Sandman.
Yeah.
Neil Gaiman.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
All right. You're 3 questions down.
Okay.
Question 4.
Okay.
If you could be famous for something other than podcasting or association with View Askew, what would you want to be famous for?
Oh, definitely a professional athlete. So, and if we get narrowed down, probably baseball. Star baseball player for sure.
Very nice.
I would love to be in the environment, playing ball in a public setting at a major league ballpark, or all
What
30.
position?
That's a great question. I grew up a second baseman, so I'd probably play the infield. The second baseman's a thankless job in my opinion, for sure. But I would love to be. I love to be a second baseman. I was good at like a 5-tool player, like good at catching, hitting, fielding, speed, like all that stuff. I would steal bases for sure.
That was me.
And then
what team would you play on?
Yeah, Baltimore Orioles, my favorite team, for sure.
Liam.
We can't talk. I'm a Yankees fan.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be a good rivalry this year. So I get it. But and then on top of all that, you make pretty good salary, for sure. Just looks like fun. Playing baseball looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's the same for me. I mean, I'd be a professional baseball player because, like, I love wrestling. Wrestling's my sport.
Yeah.
But I feel like just hitting home runs for a living would just be.
I think it'd be great. Yeah, hitting home runs and just fielding and. Yeah, and you learn without the without the playoffs, you play 6 months out of the year. It's not a bad life,
right?
Yeah.
If you were in a what if universe, what role would you want to play in the View Askew universe?
Oh man, jeez, that's a great question. I mean, do I hang out at the mall with like Brody Bruce and like TS? Do I hang out at the Quick Stop? Do I try to stop Renegade Angels from getting back into heaven? Or do I just run around with Chainsaw Bob? It's funny because the Clerks universe is basically my life. Like, I go to the Quick Stop anytime I want and hang out there by Gatorade. Mallrats is a little harder. The malls don't really exist anymore. But the Dogma universe, like, is literally a matter of like life or death existence.
Right.
Chasing Amy, man, that's a great question. You know what universe is really fun, but it's not out yet. Is Kevin's upcoming 4:30 movie. That universe is actually pretty cool. I might want to. Yeah, I might want to live in that universe. Although that takes place here as well, so just in a different era. It takes place in the 80s. That might be the one I go for, though, just so I can live in like the 80s and 90s again. That might be the one. Yeah, but that's not a real answer because you guys haven't seen the movie yet. So, but you will this year. You will. Yeah, but if not, I guess I would just like to hang out at the mall in the 90s with the Eden Prairie Mall, like eat at the cookie stand and run from Mr. Svenning. That might be fun.
It wouldn't be the worst universe to live in.
No, not at all. Not at all.
All right, number 6. We're getting closer.
Okay.
To the end. What is the weirdest thing your parents have found under your bed or in your room?
Man. So it wouldn't be what you think it is. I wasn't a cool kid with like cool contraband. I never had drugs or magazines or anything under my bed. I just had action figures. I hoarded my action figures, loose Legos. These aren't even weird though. I'm trying to think if I put anything. I might have some weird fireworks. I like hoarding fireworks for a period. Yeah, I had a stockpile of fireworks for a while, so maybe I am a pyromaniac, man. I had fireworks because I didn't want to light them because then you don't have them anymore, right? So So that was my thing. Yeah, I didn't want to lose my fireworks. So I literally had a hoard of like I know I had a bunch of bottle rockets. I didn't want to lose the bottle rockets, so I definitely hoarded those. That might be the weirdest thing. I think they just asked me why I didn't light them off yet. They didn't even think about the fire hazard aspect. They were just like, why haven't you set these off? Yeah, that and just a bunch of weird action figures. A lot of them I melted and I kept them, so that's kind of weird, right?
Yeah. I answered this on one of the live streams recently. I had a box of several Zippos and several cans of hairspray.
Zippos, that sounds familiar. I know a guy who hoards Zippos.
Yeah. It was. I think it was the combination of why do you have so many lighters and why do you have so much hairspray? And I'm like,
Aquanet. That's a weird one.
Yeah.
Hang on a second. I'm gonna plug the laptop in real quick.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. Sorry, I got I had the low battery warning. I didn't want to hop off like in the middle. But yeah, I think unlit bottle rockets would probably be the weirdest thing that I had under my bed.
Liam, do you have something?
Summer of 2020, I had just a bunch of wrappers of snacks just under my bed, like.
Oh, just snack wrappers, used.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, Cheetos, Oreos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does this now because, like, I wake up in the morning and I'll go looking for something to eat, and I'm like, oh, this kid woke up in the middle of the night and ate an entire box of Cheez-Its, and I never found the box. Like, so I'm like, where's the box? And I'm like, I know he doesn't throw anything away. It's under his bed.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's not even that weird though. You just don't like trash cans, so you like packaging.
Well, he's still youngish.
Yeah.
He's got some time before he moves out.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, the last question. This one's going to be a little bit. Those were pretty tame. This one I think is interesting because I think it differs from genders.
Okay.
Question is, if you were in a public bathroom,
Okay.
go into the stall, you do your business, and you realize you have no toilet paper.
Okay.
Do you ask the guy next to you for toilet paper?
I hate taking dumps in public bathrooms. So awkward, right? You got your pants around your ankles and like your junk is hanging out, and but you know when you gotta do your business. I'm trying to remember if I almost always check to see if there's toilet paper there, because I don't want to be in this situation. But this is a what if question. Yeah. I mean, what else do you do though? You gotta ask, right? It's never happened to me though, luckily.
Well,
I think I would. Jeez, I wonder. Before I even do that, I would probably text a friend. Hopefully, that outside is like, "Hey, man, I need something. Paper towels. Like, can you get me some napkins from like wherever we are?" Yeah. Oh man, that's one of my worst fears though. And yeah, I mean, I hate taking a dump in those things, anyways. But if someone, I hate it when people are next to you. Usually I try to avoid that. So I'm the jerk. Like, you ever go to, because now if you go to an airport, they're a little more modern now. They have the men's and women's room, but then they have the family bathroom where you're supposed to, like, take your family in. I'm the jerk who hogs the family bathroom without a family. Because it's private. And you can lock it. You got the whole place to yourself. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then if you run out of toilet paper, you can by yourself figure it out.
Right. You can.
Yeah.
But usually those things are pretty stocked, man. I've never went to a family bathroom without toilet paper. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'd have to be. I would text a friend first. If that didn't work, I guess I'd be like, "Hey, buddy, I'm in a pickle here." And
then I'm right next to you, and I'm like, "Hey, is that Ming Chen?"
Yeah. Is that Maverick Ming Chen? Is that Changmen's Ming Chen? Yeah. Then at least they'd be more willing to help out. But God, man, I hope I never get in that situation, man.
Because the only alternative is that you have to sit there for minutes until the next guy leaves.
Yeah.
And then do you roll the dice to try to like shimmy over to the next stall?
No.
It's
no. Or try to like reach under the. No. It's terrible.
It's like worst case scenario. Like it really is horrible.
It's terrible.
I've asked females, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's a normal thing."
Yeah, they have no problem. Like,
right?
Yeah. They have no problem with that.
I agree. I don't know what I would do.
No, and I've been in some dive bars where there's not even a door to the stall. I'm like, no way, man. No way. No, I don't care how bad I have to go. Yeah,
I'll just go back in the woods if I have
that's
to.
just traumatic, man. That's, Great questions. Right. I guess I survived the gauntlet.
You've achieved it. You're the first person to walk the Whimsy Gauntlet.
Wow.
Last question was a little bit difficult, but you made it. We'll keep doing them, but we'll get a picture of you and we'll put you on the wall of like one of those burger steak places.
Yes. Like the old 49er, yes. Or 96 or whatever it's called. Nice. Well, I feel like I accomplished a lot today. I survived the gauntlet.
And you donated to our time capsule story?
Yes.
Story time capsule. I'm still working on names. I don't know.
Yeah. We'll get there. I love it.
A Ming Chen, like a little token.
I would love to see how you customize that to make it look more Ming Chen. But yes, I would love that. It would be an honor.
It would be weird because we get no eyes, and I don't know. Like we already got the podcast mic.
Yeah.
I would totally I would totally do a if you're down. I'll look into making a Ming Chen.
Yeah, we'll figure this out. I can't wait to see it though.
Hey, you do graphic design. Make one for yourself.
I do. I could do that. Let me work on that.
If you do one, I'll print them up.
Okay.
And I'll get tokens made.
I love it.
All right. Well, I think that's all I got for you today. Lane, do you have anything?
I just said say it. Or you got who say it?
I don't know. I just wanted to make sure we're done.
Yeah, I'm good.
Whimsy!